Welcome to the show. It's with a heavy heart that we bring you this episode. Heavyweight boxing legend George Foreman dies, age 76. Known as Big George in the ring, the American built one of the most remarkable and enduring careers in the sport, winning Olympic gold in 1968 and claiming the world heavyweight title twice, 21 years apart. The second making him the oldest champion in history, aged 45. What a feat. He lost his first title to Muhammad Ali in their famous Rumble in the Jungle fight in 1974. But overall, he boasted an astonishing total of 76 wins, including 68 knockouts, almost double that of Ali. Foreman retired in 1997, but not before he agreed to put his name to a best-selling grill, a decision that went on to bring him fortunes that dwarfed his boxing earnings. It makes me think of some boxers today where, you have Floyd Mayweather that's boasting, 50 fights and 50 wins. Foreman had 76 wins, including 68 knockouts. I'll say again, almost double that of Ali in the heavyweight division. And his best-selling grill is very close to my heart. I've had many of them in their many different iterations, and they were fantastic. His family said in a post on Instagram on Friday night, "Our hearts are broken. A devout preacher, a devoted husband, a loving father, and a proud grand and great grandfather. He lived a life marked by unwavering faith, humility, and purpose." To his family, I want to say, our hearts are broken too. The statement added, "A humanitarian, an Olympian, and two-time heavyweight champion of the world. He was deeply respected, a force for good, a man of discipline, conviction, and a protector of his legacy, fighting tirelessly to preserve his good name for his family." Tributes poured in from others across the sport, with former world heavyweight champion Mike Tyson saying, "Foreman's contribution to boxing and beyond will never be forgotten." The Ring magazine, often dubbed the Bible of boxing, described him as one of the greatest heavyweights of all time. He'll be missed. He'll be remembered as an icon of the sport forever. So let's take a look back. Foreman was born in Marshall, Texas, on the 10th of January, 1949, and raised along with 6 siblings by a single mother in the segregated American South. This is astonishing stuff when you think about it. This is against all odds. He grew up in the segregated American South in 1949. He dropped out of school and turned to street robberies before eventually finding his outlet in the ring. Foreman won the heavyweight gold medal at the 1968 Olympics in Mexico City, aged 19. I'll repeat. Foreman won the heavyweight gold medal for the USA, even though he grew up in the segregated American South. In the Mexico City Olympics in 1968, aged 19, before turning pro and winning 37 consecutive matches. He lost only 5 bouts over his career. This is mind-blowing stuff. Phenomenal. Against all odds. He beat previously undefeated reigning champion Joe Frazier in Kingston, Jamaica in 1973, knocking him down 6 times in the first 2 rounds. Shout out to Joe Frazier, getting knocked down 6 times and getting back up. His 1974 rumble in the jungle against Ali in Kinshasa, Zaire, now known as the Democratic Republic of the Congo, remains one of the most famous boxing matches ever. Ali, the older man, was the underdog after he was stripped of his crown 7 years earlier for refusing to be drafted into the Vietnam War. So he essentially wasted 7 years of his boxing prime for his political beliefs. That was America at the time. These guys who were Black Americans did phenomenal and amazing things against all odds. Foreman reflected on the legendary fight 50 years later in an October interview with BBC World Service NewsHour, explaining that everyone sort of thought he was going to decimate Ali. Oh, he's not going to last 1 round, the boxer said experts were predicting at the time. Foreman told the BBC he typically would get real nervous and have butterflies before any boxing match, but that night it was the most comfortable he had felt. But the wily Ali used a tactic that later became known as rope-a-dope, which wore out Foreman, causing him to throw out hundreds of punches before Ali unloaded on him in the 8th round and scored a knockout. After a second professional loss, Foreman retired in 1977 and became an ordained minister at the Church of the Lord Jesus Christ in Texas, which he founded and built. He told the BBC his defeat to Ali became the best thing that ever happened to me, as it ultimately led him to get my message out through preaching. He saw good in defeat. Let that sink in. He recalled that his preaching started small on street corners and with friends and then grew. A lot of us would have fell into depression after that loss. And God knows what would have happened after that. He used that globally televised loss to propel his life into a different direction. We began meeting informally at various homes in Houston, and before long, the crowds became too large for most houses to accommodate, Foreman said on his website. Eventually, we bought a piece of land and an old, sort of dilapidated building on the northeast side of Houston. So Foreman came out of retirement in 1987 to raise money for a youth center he founded. He won 24 matches before losing to Evander Holyfield after 12 rounds in 1991. I remember that fight. I remember that fight. In 1994, Foreman knocked out undefeated Michael Moore to become the oldest ever heavyweight champion at age 45. He became ad pitchman for his George Foreman grill, which millions have purchased since it hit the market in 1994, including me myself, thanks in part to his memorable catchphrase, the lean, mean grilling machine. I've had many of them. It's a fantastic product. I've made countless burgers on that grill. And I used to love the fact that they had that tray at the bottom and the slant design where the fat would run down and the tray at the bottom would collect the grease. It got me through college and beyond. Foreman was married 5 times. He has a dozen children, including 5 sons, who are all named George. He explained on his website that he named them after himself so they would always have something in common. I say to them, if one of us goes up, then we all go up together, he explained. And if one goes down, we all go down together. What a fascinating life. What a great loss to the sporting world, to the boxing world, to the Black American world, and beyond. Rest in peace, champ. We will miss you. That brings us to the end of this episode. Please make sure you subscribe and like the video. And as always, with a heavy heart, we want to say thanks for stopping by, and we'll see you next time.